Insta360 selfie sticks or selfie sticks for action cams or 360 cams are expensive and maybe too expensive. I'll show you how to make some really great functioning invisible selfie sticks, anywhere from $1 to $2 up to this giant guy, 8 foot long, for around $10 to $15. Interested? Here we go. If you have one of these or any other 360 camera, then you know what an invisible selfie stick is. It's this. Not very invisible, is it? Well, you have to use your imagination. The way this guy works is you put it on the camera, and then anything within that zone of the thickness of the camera is taken out when you process it in the software. There's two problems with this guy. First of all, it's relatively short, although you can adjust it to all different heights within this very short length. And it runs around $20. The really big extended selfie stick is more like $70. Granted, it goes out to 3 meters or around 12 feet, but still, $70? Ever since I got a 360 camera, and this is my third one and my fourth one, I've been trying to figure out how to do the selfie stick thing. I was using all sorts of different things. I used this monopod that I got off of Amazon for about, I think, $7, a lightning deal. You can see that fully extended, it's at least another foot longer than this regular selfie stick. Now it does have that little bulb on the end, and quite frankly, it's worth the sacrifice. This is really, really strong, and it's just such a small platform, and you only see it around the bottom of the base of the camera, so I'm really not so worried about it, and it's worked really well. But it's there, so I explored other different things. I came up with this idea of using a selfie stick as a selfie stick. And this guy has worked really, really well. You have to make sure that this is in place and it's clamped down tight. Here you can see that the profile just keeps it in place. And the great thing about this is it goes out way farther. And I think I bought this selfie stick for a couple bucks. So you get the same effect as you get with this one. And it's about the same length for 20% of the cost. Now, I have made some modifications to the selfie stick because I also added this PVC half-inch pole in here. And I'll tell you why, because I've got a whole bunch of different builds where I'm using a backpack mount, a water mount, a hiking stick mount that you'll see later, that I've been developing over the last year with a pretty good degree of success, I might add, but it has required me to modify this. So you can see here that the selfie stick pretty much goes well into a half-inch PVC pipe. And then I just took a 3/4 inch dowel, I put in some half-inch flat screws to make it super rigid. Because I found originally this thing had a screw-in mount in there, and I was trying to screw it in. It was just too weak, so I really strengthened it up. This is a half-inch PVC connector, and then this is any length of PVC that you want. And you can also see that I screwed it in there. And if you're really concerned about it, and I am to some extent, and I'll tell you a story about that later, is you can actually put one of these screws in here, and then it's just bomb-proof. It's just going to be, it will never fall out. My initial prototypes, actually, I didn't have that in place, and then when I had it super extended like this, out that far, doing my backpack test, you can see it's a little bit of wobble there. Wasn't real happy with it. So I had to make some modifications, and as I was doing that, I actually dropped this part of the camera off before I made the modification. Boom. Hit some granite and actually got a ding in the lens. And I did it twice once on each side for good measure, I guess. And you can't see it, but it's there, and under certain lighting conditions, it really shows up. And in other lighting conditions, it doesn't. But it gave me an excuse to buy this guy. So maybe I won out in the end. The other thing I always do is make sure I have this thing covered, because you just don't want to take that chance of it getting dinged. This next one probably requires the most construction, but it's all fairly easy as far as the skill level, beginner skills, and it has really served me well. I was dusting the fans off around the house, and I realized that this telescoping fan duster extends out there really nice. So I spray painted this. I think it was purple originally. And this doesn't show up at all, by the way. It's below. It's within the realm of the selfie stick avoid zone. And then I glued on a 1/2 inch coupler. I'm using a 1/4 inch screw that's 1 1/4 inches long and has a thread of 20. I'm using one of these coupling nuts and a washer. This is a 3/4 inch washer. It says half flat washer. You might have to take a drill and widen out the hole a little bit. With a little bit of hot glue and a 1 inch piece of PVC pipe, scrap pipe, you just go in there and you mount the coupling nut. You can put this flat down on the table, put some hot glue in there, let it dry, and you've got a real solid flat edge to run the screw in. And this allows you to adjust the threads on the 360 camera or any action camera. This also works for action cameras. So you can pop it out like that, and then I have this washer, and I just put that in place, get it all down nice, and then take your 360 camera, thread it on there like that, make sure it's all tightened up, that, and then you just insert it into the coupler like that, and you've got another selfie stick extender rod that really goes out there. I think it's about 6 feet, 5 to 6 feet. And then I just took some gaffer's tape, or you can use black duct tape, or you paint it or marker it, and just went around the coupler just to make it look black. And I used black marker here on the top of the fixture. So that's an easy build. This is what I call a fine build, because I use this coupler the way it is, so it didn't cost me any extra money. But if you had to buy one, you can go to the kitchen area, maybe $5 for that, and with all these other little pieces, you're probably up to $8, maybe $9. This next one works as a great bicycle mount. You can see it's a 1/4 inch 20 thread 3 foot long rod. You can put them together like this using the coupling nuts. Here I've actually made what I call the travel version, using 1 foot sections of the 1/4 inch rod. And it has the coupler nuts on the end. And I've actually put some heat shrink tubing there just to jazz it up a little bit. These are just pen cylinders. Put it on there like that. You can use the washer that you used before and a wing nut. And that allows you to screw it in here as far as it will go. Then use the wing nut to tighten up on the washer. And you've got a 1 foot. Put this in. You got a 2 footer. These threaded rods really don't bend a whole heck of a lot. And I found, especially if they start to bow a little bit, just do it in line with the camera here like this, and it still goes away. So that works pretty good. Or you can make it 6 feet, or you can go out to that 12 foot. I think if you get out much further than 8 feet, then the bowing may become a factor. But I love these for travel. Put them, wedge them into cracks and things like that if you wanted to just hold the selfie stick in place. So we're gonna make the big guy last, and we're using 1/2 inch, 96-inch long U-channel aluminum. You can get this around $8 to $10. So this build will probably be the most expensive, around $15, but then you get an 8-foot long selfie stick that doesn't bend. So for this build, you can use either the fixture I've already made, or I'm going to change it up using an action camera mount. And here it is. It's one of those. Put some tape around it so that it just fits inside here like this, and it's a tight fit and it won't wobble. Now I've taken the 1/2 inch coupler. We've drilled 2 3/16 inch holes, one for the aluminum side and one for the camera side. For the aluminum side, or the one that's going to go to the U-channel, that's at 3/8 inch or 1 centimeter approximately for the center hole. And the other side for the action camera, it's 15 millimeters or 5/8 inch. The 3/16 inch drill bit is so we can pass a number 10, 1/2 inch long, 24 thread screw. And then we're going to finish it off with some nylon lock nuts. At one end of the U-channel, 1 centimeter, 3/8 inch hole to mate up with this guy here. So we're going to take it the next step. We're going to use a marker on both ends in order to tell the ends apart. When it's time to make the hole, I'm going to leave a little bit of the white showing so I know that's the aluminum side. Then I'm going to take this gaffer's tape. Once you know you have enough, cut it off. Gaffer's tape is great for all sorts of builds because you can reposition it just like this when you don't get it just right. A little couple wrinkles there, and then you can just cut off the excess with a straight edge, or in this case scissors. This guy in first, line him up as best as possible till you see daylight, and that's a nice tight fit. Then start getting the screw in place. So using a wrench and a screwdriver, I got that guy in place. You got a little bit of an edge on there. You could cut it off if you want. If you want to darken that in, you certainly can. You can take the black tape, either run strips down this way, actually lapped it around the sides there. Again, to cut down on the glare if you're concerned about that, but this thing's not going to really bend and it's going to be great. So then you just put this guy in here like this. Line up the hole like you did before. Put the nylon lock nut on this side and cinch it down. There, rock solid. Now all you have to do is mount the camera. And there you go, you're good to go with an 8-foot long selfie stick. That's probably going to run you right around $15 or less, probably somewhere between $10 and $15. And stay tuned for upcoming videos about floating rigs for 360 cameras and action cameras, backpacking rigs that move around and adjust, and even hiking stick selfie rigs. All coming soon, or will be posted below or around here somewhere. So there you go. 5, 6 different versions of selfie sticks that are affordable and that work great. And they'll be invisible just like this guy is. Thumbs up and comments, always appreciated. If you have better ideas or improvements on these, please post in the comments below so we can all learn and benefit from the exchange of ideas.